What's cracking with you people? Anansi here, and welcome back to another episode of Star Fox Adventures. In the last one, we went down to the depths of the ancient well to find some white grub tubs. And then we fed the shrooms to the Queen Earthwalker. And we discovered that shrooms not only keep you well fed, but also heal you. Not advised I would take into the real world. But on this one, we're gonna head back to the Snowhrn Waste because we got a key that goes, well, you'll see as we get down there. Now I remember when I first did this part way back in the day. This is actually one of the reasons why I never really what's the one over here? This actually was one of the reasons why I never actually kept interest in this game when I first played it. Because the whole thing about these kind of games, RPGs, I was, you know, tricky. I want to have you stay. Because the whole thing about these games is that I wasn't big into RPGs at the time. I was mostly into platformers and racers. Oh, but you hit the switch right here, you change the flow of the water, making it easy for you to get around. Now we jump in here, we find we can swim through this much more easily. But yeah, I think we got, yeah, we did. So let's go ahead and use this here since we got this skill last time, and it takes you up to here. Ah, that's right. That is right. I forgot. Well, we can get that. We can. I think we can. Actually, yeah, you gotta go around here. I forgot this is a form of a puzzle you gotta do. So while we're here, I'll go ahead and do this. But yeah, getting back to it, I remember when I first played this game, because I was not so good at more complex games that required you to use a little bit more thought than the average shooter or racer or platformer. I didn't stick with it all that much. I think I got down to, what's the word over here? I want to say I got down to. I'm trying to figure out the exact place I got to. I know I got to a point where I saved tricky. I'm going to go ahead and just preset this here so that way I won't have as much trouble later on, because you still have to go back through here. But once I got to a point where I saved tricky, and I kind of put it down, because unless the game was Star Wars, go figure, a Sonic game, or a racing game, it didn't hold my interest very long. It really didn't, and I don't know why at the time. I guess because I was young, I really couldn't think of anything else to do, so I just got bored of it. So that wasn't how you're supposed to do that, which means, if I'm correct, yep, there we go. I was overthinking it. Aiming reticle. And now we can get some more fuel cells. And yeah, I just didn't stick with it. So as a result of that, I didn't actually end up playing and beating this game for several years. And then a friend of mine stole the disc from me. I had to end up buying it again. I think I still have the original case that had the missing disc. I have to get rid of it one of these days. But yeah, I remember he stole it from me, and I haven't seen that guy in years. So $10 tells you what happened to him. So because of that whole thing, I never really beat games like this or Metroid Prime. And Metroid Prime is one of my favorite games of all time, and pretty much the game that got me into Zelda. Now I don't know if I showed it off last time, but if you listen closely, there it is. There you hear a noise go off, and if you listen closely to one of these Snowhorns over here, they say, "Do you hear that?" Well, I think it went off in the last part, but yeah, you can hear someone say, "Hurry, boy." That's someone calling for help. So you have to go back to the you have to go back and save the queen to find the key to then open up this pathway that will let you into here. Now then, this requires something else that we don't have. All right, we have to do some platforming here. And he's dead. Yeah, so as you see there, it's kind of wailed on him and he died. I'll be right there. Keep your pants on. So let's see. Reassign that. I feel like I did something out of order, but I don't know what. Well, we'll get to it eventually. What we do know is that eventually you have to go down through there at some point. I don't remember when, but we'll get to it. But you must run up here, if I remember correctly, and find this guy.
The Sharp Claw have imprisoned me in this infernal cave. If you can bring me frost weeds, I'll be strong enough to get myself out. Perhaps the young prince can help you. Hurry, boy!
Not exactly certain how frost weeds are going to help you out, man. But hey, if weed helps you out, that's your thing. Just remember, I'm not enabling you. But yeah, so as you can see, we found this rather regal-looking guy trapped in a cave. But I forgot, these guys are infinite spawning, aren't they? So yeah, just say what you don't want to do is you don't want to actually sit here and fight them. You're supposed to whack this, and then what you do is you chase it. If my memory serves correct, you're supposed to chase it over to him. You gotta be careful because these things do disappear after a while. Right? C stick is not the camera stick. You gotta use the analog stick to do this. So you're going to be sitting here taking pot shots for a while. So I'm just going to let you know that up front. Now, luckily, once you get him close enough, it'll automatically just go to him. And if you get now you find yourself taking so many pot shots, just fight the Sharp Claw. They'll drop some stuff for you, and that should help you out. I also forgot to mention, while you're in combat, if you hit the Y button, you can actually use some of your offensive some more offensive staff abilities. I don't recommend using it too much because as you can tell, some of the staff abilities just really aren't that good in combat. They're mostly designed for puzzle solving, and I want to say that's due to the aiming feature. Now here's the upside to this. You don't have to give them too much, because three is a charm. Like, guys, you're helping me out. Like, I don't know if you realize, but you are legitimately helping me out. And that should... Okay, look. There you go. And that should do it.
Ah, the young prince! Who is this with you?
This is my friend Fox McCloud. My mother sent us to find you.
Well, I am Garunda Tay, Spellstone Gatekeeper of Dark Eye's Mine.
We're looking for a spellstone.
A spellstone? It is my duty as a gatekeeper to guard the land from which a spellstone is forged. General Scales took the spellstone and discovered that I was a gatekeeper. He gave me an ultimatum. Allow him to take the spellstone back into the sacred land, or he would destroy my tribe. I could not risk the safety of the entire planet, so I refused to help. My daughter did not think this way, and so to save the tribe, she opened the gateway herself. Scales did not destroy my tribe. He enslaved them instead. My daughter dishonored me. You must search for the Spellstone within Dark Ice Mines and return it to the Volcano Force Point Temple. Only then will the Spellstone's power be returned. I will open the gateway.
Oh, and we got a message.
Hope that helps you, Fox. Slippy out.
Now if you go here,
Hi, Fox. World map downloading.
and there's Thorntail Hollow.
Scanners. Keep going.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. And so yeah, we pretty much get the gist here. This is introduced to another bit of world building. Actually, we find out about the gatekeepers. And since there are 4 spellstones, that means there are 4 gatekeepers. Pretty simple, not too hard to really figure that one out. And we kind of see a little bit more about how General Scales operates. He did promise that he wouldn't destroy his tribe, but he also didn't say that he would necessarily, you know, not do anything to them. So it's one of those bigger picture things. Like, the dad pretty much saw that Scales was not going to, I guess in the dad's mind, he didn't want to risk the whole planet to save a few people. The daughter wanted to save the tribe, but she ended up causing more trouble in the long run because she just didn't think about the consequences. At least that's how Gurundate explains it. But it's a neat bit of world building. We get an idea of what a oh, that's another Bonfadad. But we get an idea at the very least of how these spellstones are looked after. They're not just kind of lying out there in the wild. Okay. Well, water's ice cold, and I'm probably going to die here if I don't get out of it too soon. I'm trying to remember how I figured this one out, because I feel like I have to jump on the ice, but for some reason I can't seem to figure out the right way to do it. I'll give it one more shot before I call it, because oh boy, I do not want to die to hypothermia. Ah, crap. Okay. Yep, that's on me. That's on me. Okay, we'll come back to that one later because I am at a loss how to properly do it, and I don't want to. Oh right, sharp claw stuff. Okay. I wonder how you get in there.
Time is running out. You must find the Spellstone.
All right then. I don't think I've ever gotten in there, have I? Yeah, they're just sitting there like, sure, what do we do now? Well, I don't freaking know. Wanna play cards? Sure, why not? Go fish. This one was kind of odd things. Okay, let's give it one more shot here. I think I've got it. I want to say I've got it. You're supposed to, I think, jump off of this. Yeah, you're supposed to jump off of that and land on the ice blocks that come out from underneath. Tricky's lost his mind, probably the shrooms. And then you're supposed to ride it all the way down. I'm gonna take care of this real quick. Problem is you can't really time it right. I remember that being an issue. Let's see now. When's the next ice block coming up? Waiting on it. Oh, come on! I had that. Can I just climb up the side here? Yes, I can. Okay, I was overtaking it again. Okay, so now we're in a cave. Full eating, probably. Now then, that something to do with that. We'll assume we plant one of these right here. Yeah, it's a dig spot, not a bomb spot. Excuse me. I think I found another bomb for that. I don't rightly recall. Well, that worked. Now I think you're supposed to use these ice pads to jump on from here and roll down there somewhere. And that's how you get up to these panels. So I was thinking they're on the right lines, just in a completely bass-backwards way. Let's see, now can I actually do this right? Answer's probably going to be no, but we'll give it a shot anyway. Whoop! Got it! Saw ya! Now then, we keep going down here. Go ahead and hop off here because I don't know where that goes. Oh, a well. Okay, this is another one of the cheat coding wells, right?
Throw me 20 scarabs, and I'll give you a cheat token.
I believe that for right now. I'll show off what the cheat tokens do at a later date, but for right now we're going to just ignore them for the moment. Mostly because, as I think I've iterated in the previous part, I've never actually done it, so I haven't the slightest idea what they do. Now that's over with. Let's jump down here. Back to the drink. Up we go. And we're going to make our way back to the Snowhorn Waste. Snowhorn. I'm in the Snowhorn Waste. Into Thorntail Hollow, where we're going to buy a few more maps and then call it a part. Because I decided to be a dumb and wanted to do some exploring, which, yeah, I'll admit, isn't the best thing to do at the moment, but we got more power cells, which we are going to need at a later date. And trust me when I say you want to actually kill time finding power cells now than to do it later, because you're going to be in for a heck of a time otherwise. And trust me when I say you don't want to be in for a time otherwise. Just for the sheer fact that finding power cells, I mean, granted, you have the fuel cells. I call them power cells because Jack and Daxter. But having an abundance of fuel cells will be a godsend later. It just will. Because the last thing you want is to be at a point in the story where you're trying to get a move on with plot, and you're constrained by trying to find fuel cells. That is one knock I will give against Star Fox Adventures. Like, this is like one of the few knocks I actually have against the game, and that's just the sheer fact that the use of fuel cells on this planet, which we established, doesn't really have a whole lot of technology, so we're trying to avoid introducing unnecessary elements. Like a blaster, even though we're flying a high-tech spaceship down to the planet's surface, we're trying to avoid that for the sake of, I guess, preserving like the natural order of things. But the fuel cells just, I think the idea was that Peppy tried to drop some fuel cells down and they just got scattered. Which I'll give them props for at least trying to explain why they're down there, but it just feels like an unnecessary complication on the whole, as opposed to something that benefits the gameplay. And believe me when I say there's a lot of stuff like that in the game. When I say a lot of stuff, there's a couple of stuff like that in the game. And here are the last two, I believe. Last two maps.
You pay this much. Okay.
Yes, because there's no point in trying to haggle with you. And I believe this gets us the Dragon Rock map.
200 years I've been walking
Okay.
around these books.
And this should be the last one that we need to get for a while. There we go, 10.
Sell it to you.
One scarab left. Now, good news is, we won't have to come back into this shopkeep, the Ocean Force Point map. We won't have to come back into the shopkeep's place for any reason other than maybe for, well, just this. I think one more fuel cell, and this last little thing here, which I'll show off at a later date. But for right now, we're going to head back to the R-Wing and call it a part. I know it's in the last one I was going to try to pick it up, but I really mean it. We're going to try to pick it up more and more now. Now that I got the tedious stuff out the way first. I know it's probably bad for them to front load this stuff. It's probably bad for them to front load this kind of stuff inside the game, but I feel like to keep the rest of it moving, it's better to have the tedious stuff out the way first than to have to do it midway through. At any rate, I've been Anansi, you've been awesome, and in the next one we're going to pick it up from there. Catch you later!